Hi guys, it's Miss Leyendecker. I am here to talk to you about the research paper that is in Module 6. The research paper seems like the trickiest assignment that is in our class, and hopefully this video is going to show you that it's not that bad and you probably have done something very similar to this before. So what I'm additionally going to do is I'm going to open up discussion groups in another tab. I am going to scroll down to, of course, module by module help, because I know by now that there's all kinds of wonderful information in there. And there is one specifically for the research paper. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up while I work. So let's go ahead and see what's happening in my textbook. Now this gives you a little bit of an overview about what this lesson is about. You do need to read the novel To Kill a Mockingbird. If you don't have a copy, you can scan this little QR code and read it that way, or there is an ebook on the announcements page that you can use. Excuse me. And if you have any trouble with that, just let me know. But it is important to know that you will need to read To Kill a Mockingbird only for one assessment in this lesson if you're in Miss Leyendecker's class. So let's take a little look about and see what that's about. Okay, part A again tells you that you need to read To Kill a Mockingbird, and after that you will take the test in the assessment area. So we know that we would open up assessments and click on 602A. It's a multiple choice exam. So make sure you can, you remember you can take notes and do your best on that. Now, part B, when you're in the lesson itself, I would encourage you to click on this. I'm not going to click on it right now because there's no way to turn it off, but it's just like a little 2-minute explanation about what the research paper process is all about. Now, in this little listening section or the text version, it does say that it has to be about To Kill a Mockingbird. That's not necessarily true. If you're in Miss Leyendecker's class, I really don't mind if you want to write about something else. The point of this assignment is for you to pick a position and argue it using evidence. And so if you would rather write about something, maybe you want to write about a different novel, or maybe you want to write about something not related to literature at all, that's really fine by me, because the standards behind this lesson deal more with writing than they do with your knowledge and comprehension of the novel. So please feel free to pick a different topic. But again, I do encourage you to listen to this. And if you are having trouble picking a topic, then I would suggest that you just go with one of these. You have some different options here. Now, if you go through here, you'll see that there's all kinds of good stuff. This sort of tells you what the process is. You're going to choose a topic. You're going to conduct your research by taking notes and creating some source cards. You're going to come up with your thesis statement, which is basically a 1-line sentence about what your paper is going to be about. You're going to write your outline. I'm going to show you an easy way to do that. And then you're going to write your paper. So let's take a look at what all that entails. There are wonderful videos in here to help you, and I encourage you to watch each one of them. So here's a video that shows you how to gather and use evidence. I'm not going to watch that with you, but what I encourage you to do is watch this video, because it teaches you how to use academic websites and how to verify a source. We want to make sure we're not using, like, Joe Bob's To Kill a Mockingbird summary.com. We want to make sure we're not using websites that are particularly biased. We want to make sure that we're using an educational or an academic source, and this video goes over how to do that. It also tells you sort of, if you're not sure where to go, sort of how to think about your topic and figure out what information you're going to need. Additionally, what you can do is check your understanding of that, and there's a little practice quiz just so you can make sure you are up to speed. I would take this practice quiz because you will see some of these questions again. Hint, hint, hint. Okay. After you have thought about your topic, after you have gathered some evidence, what you are going to do is come up with your thesis statement. And there is a video in here that helps you develop your thesis statement. Now, what you need to do is make sure that you have written that thesis statement completely, and make sure that you have gathered your evidence. You are going to need that to take the 602B online research quiz. Now, I'm going to show you what that looks like. A lot of students are not prepared for that and they get locked out of it, which is slightly aggravating to me because I have to reset it when I'm pretty sure that most of us just didn't go through. We just clicked right to the quiz. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. And I'm also going to show you a place where you can find the questions. Woohoo! Okay, so we're going to enter the exam. And if I click back over here to discussion groups, okay, you'll see that there's not only, here's some extra topics if you need help with that, but when I get ready for 602B quiz, if I scroll down just a little bit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are the 5 questions that are going to be on my quiz. Okay, question 1, question 2, and you can see that you need to type your answers into this, so it's not multiple choice. So just make sure you're prepared. Go to discussion groups. Here are the 5 questions. Just make sure you are prepared to answer those before you take 602B. Now, after you've done 602B, it is time to make your outline. There is a presentation for you to watch, and additionally, at the bottom of your outline, you will need to include your works cited page, and there's a presentation on how to watch that as well. So what I would encourage you to do is watch the presentation about making an outline and then come to discussion groups and use this format instead. You can see that it's already got it made for you. You'll just need to put your title of your paper, your thesis statement, and then you're going to need to fill in these other blanks with your supporting evidence. So I find this format to be a little more user-friendly. So when you get to the outline stage, feel free to come to discussion groups and make your outline using this format. Now, if you look at this, you can see how many paragraphs are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, raise your hand if you've ever written a 5-paragraph essay. Woohoo, I have. I even had to write them when I was in school. So you can see that all this research paper is writing a 5-paragraph essay. The difference is that somewhere in here you are going to include information from your sources that you gathered before. So definitely, don't let this paper scare you and think, oh my god, I've got to write a 16-page paper. Nope, it's 5 paragraphs, and the only difference is that you are going to, like I said, include that evidence and cite your sources. Okay, so after you do that, then you need to submit 602C as your document for the outline. Now, the paper itself is where you turn in 603. So make sure after you do 602B and 602C, I will send you feedback for these. So make sure you check your feedback in the gradebook section before you submit your paper, just in case there's anything that needs to be changed. And then lastly, 603 is your actual paper itself. So this is where it walks you through how to set things up. And the most important part of this is making sure that you have viable evidence and making sure that you cite your sources. So this tells you, I love this. This does it step by step. Tells you the purpose of an introduction. Okay, listen to the little announcement guy. Include your thesis statement, and then you can read a sample paragraph. Same thing with your body. Same thing with your conclusion. Okay, what's super important to know is that you need to make sure you include that parenthetical in-text citation. And if you highlight it and it pops this up, which is cool, it tells you will write the last name of the author and the page number where the information can be found. If it was from a website, here's something else you can do. So make sure you use all the tools in here. Additionally, there's a research paper rubric if you want to take a look at the rubric before you turn your paper in. so that you can sort of see how you're going to be graded. And note that a huge part of that is MLA citation. Now let me show you something cool. All right, I'm going to open up another tab. I'm going to go to ezbib.com. This is a pretty handy dandy website. MLA citation is free, and so all you need to do is enter the URL for your website. So for example, I'm just going to make one up. Okay, and at that point I would say cite this, and it's going to walk me through the steps, and then eventually it's going to create my citation for me. And then all I have to do is copy and paste it. So make sure you take advantage of ezbib.com when you need to make your works cited page. Now additionally, if you get confused about how to include citations inside your paper, remember the works cited is at the end, the parenthetical citations go inside your paper. So head back over to discussion groups, and you can see here that it gives you an example of how to do the in-text or the parenthetical citations, and it also shows you how to set up your works cited page. So that's very handy. Additionally, if you go down here, there is more samples, how to cite things electronically, how to do internal documentation, all kinds of good stuff. And then lastly, for the writing portion of this, if you come down here, here's some of Miss Landecker's tips for a top score. Before you turn in your paper, and remember it's just a 5-paragraph essay, don't stress out, it's a 5-paragraph essay with your textual evidence and your parenthetical citations. Okay, go over it, proofread for grammar and spelling mistakes. Something I like to do is fix my capitalization, and I always like to read my work out loud because I catch my mistakes when I read them out loud. Remember, this is super important. Do not use I, me, or my in your paper. Okay, this is a formal paper, not an editorial. So as you can see here, what you don't want to do is say, in my opinion, the Twilight movies were better than the books, because it uses the word my opinion. We don't want to get that. We want to remain formal. So we might say, one might argue the Twilight films are superior to the novels. So obviously this one sounds more formal, and that's the approach we're going for in this paper. Make sure, number 3, that you use quality transition words, first, second, third, next, last. Those are things that we might have done in middle school, but now that we're in high school, we want to try for some higher level thinking words when we transition. And then don't get discouraged. I want to remind you guys that you can always revise and resubmit for a higher grade. You can keep trying until you get a perfect score, and I'm here to help you. If you want to turn in your paper and say, hey, Miss L, this is my rough draft, can you take a look? Just put that in the comment box, and I will gladly go over it for you and send you some feedback, and say, hey, this would be your grade, but here are some things you can fix. Feel free to turn it in again. So remember that first grade is really just a starting point, and you can always fix things and move on. Don't get discouraged. And again, like I said, and like I always say, this research paper is just a 5-paragraph essay. The only difference is that you're going to include some research information and some citation, which you've already done in 505. Okay, well, I hope that this helped ease your mind a little bit about the research paper. Don't forget, you can pick your own topic if you're confused about that. Come to discussion groups. There are some samples here, or you can just call me and talk to me, and I'll be glad to help you brainstorm an idea that you're passionate about. Do not let this research paper trip you up. This is something that you can easily do in a week and account for your 3 assignments. So if you need me, just let me know. I look forward to helping you and then talking to you about this research paper during our discussion-based assessments at the end of Module 6. All right, that was the research paper in 15 minutes. I hope you have a wonderful day.